ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good evening, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm the co-host here, and we're both on live here together. And let me see if I can get this straightened out. There we go. Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and of course, Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. I don't want to say an abbreviated closing bell here. What had happened was we had a scheduled show this morning with Travis and Zach. That was the plan from WagerWire. And they're in New York City at a big conference. And we were texting back and forth. And long story short, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's do a special edition of the closing bell. And that gave them more time to check out, get situated. Well, I haven't heard back from them. Big news on their front, and hats off to Travis, Zach, the WagerWire team, the community, the family, growing day by day. If you haven't downloaded the app, head on over to Google Play. Download it. It's free. We'll take it from there. I don't know if you caught this, Riley. They're talking about that parlay with the OKC, and if OKC wins it all, this gentleman wins $1.7 million. His current buy a cash out right now was at $100,000. They're connected. This gentleman is now connected with WagerWire. They had a big article on ESPN on it, and last night on ESPN, Mr. Kendrick Perkins of all is talking about this ticket, and we got snapshots of them talking the ticket and the WagerWire calculator right there. A proud moment for WagerWire.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and they obviously do fantastic work, and they absolutely deserve the exposure. But that's big time, man. I mean, especially when you got a situation that could be ongoing here for hopefully a few weeks, as opposed to just this one situation here. So hats off to everyone there that's involved, and hats off obviously to the guy that's got the ticket there. So got the Mavericks to even the series last night, so it didn't help the cash out option necessarily, but we got plenty of series to go to still have this opportunity to continue further and hopefully get some more exposure for these guys.
Yeah, and they're going to get more tickets. They had marked one earlier this year with a big ticket, and he was, I think, 2 votes away. The Jalen Carter, I think it was, from the Philadelphia Eagles. He needed that one to come home for a big score there. He did get $25,000 on his ticket, though, as I don't want to say a consolation prize. The boys from WagerWire stepped up there, but they're getting more and more exposure. And again, the long-term goal here with WagerWire is to be in with these sports books. And so let's say you're in a DraftKings, you're in the DraftKings state, you will have WagerWire at your exposure there. Here, I got this 5-legged parlay. We're just waiting on one piece because you're seeing the cash outs that the sports books are offering. That's not the true number. It's a disgusting number where WagerWire has a calculator right there to the second. and tell you what this is really worth. And it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be like breathing. We got some time here. It might not be next year. They're going to start to get into some of these casinos in next year. They're already into RT Sports. They're already working with Jake Paul and Bedar. So it's not if, it's when. And again, just hats off to them on ESPN of all things. Kendrick talking about them. It was a great spot for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't add too much more other than hats off to everybody and continue keeping up the good work, obviously. So they've been beating the streets, and I am just happy to be on the coattails a little bit as of now, and hopefully, not so much coattails, but assist in that process as much as we can. So yeah, big thanks.
No, absolutely. You are part of the process as we try to get 3 shows a day out between, again, the Breakfast Bankroll, the Midday Market Report, and of course, where we are now, the Closing Bell. And some big things brewing for July, which I can't reveal right now, but this could be just the start of bigger things to come. So anyways, last night, some action. Luca and company, as you said, said not so fast. Hold my beer. There. What'd your eyes see in the NBA last night?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it. At some point, the Celtics were gonna kind of lay that egg, and we saw that happen, obviously there. So, even the series there, I still, I mean, a lot of people are not poo-pooing the Celtics and putting the panic button down. I don't think, but I saw some talking points of lack of faith in Jason Tatum, which we saw it in the finals a couple years ago, but nonetheless, this Celtics team is going to be just fine, and I still think that I would be shocked if this series went 7. Would not surprise me if the Celtics still put down a gentleman sweep here. So going back to Cleveland there, and then Dallas OKC, just a solid game, and that Thunder team didn't really have that same little push that like we talked about, like the Knicks did in that fourth quarter. I want to say I think they may have won the fourth quarter by 1 there, but just didn't have enough firepower last night. I'm still personally feeling good. Still got a positive momentum on my SGA series point leader ticket there, 33 burger. So need a bigger night from him to get that one home. But nonetheless, I mean, I think that one is going to be as good of a series as we can get. Maybe this entire postseason, this Dallas and OKC series. I think it's going to go back and forth pretty well. I would be surprised if either team swept the next 2 going back to Dallas. I think you're going to get a split going back to Dallas here in a 2-2 series in a few days here, in my opinion.
We talked going to the Celtics for a second. I had first half on the show. I gave up first half team total under. That came through. Your team total, the rest of the game flew under. Again, they did the same thing against Miami. They blow them out game 1. They get their butts handed to them in game 2, and then they win the next 3. I've seen some 8.5s, even maybe 8 for tomorrow. I guess at Cleveland, that's such a big number, but that's the correct number when you're 13-point favorites at home. But just to think about a healthy Cleveland team, though they are still missing one player. But my point is, catching 7.5, 8, 8.5. After just beating you by almost 30 in your building, but that's the respect where the Celtics blow you out or they have a brain fart. So I think the NBA and the books are saying, "Hey, we're not letting you run. We're not getting the banana in the tailpipe here."
No, and like we talked about, on top of just an egg laid from the Celtics. The only other way I see the Cavs get another game or so is still another. He was very good last night, but a superhuman performance, 40-plus burger from Donovan Mitchell. So if he's not doing anything like that, I think the Celtics will wake up here and flex their muscles a bit and maybe have to weather a little bit of storm. Obviously, especially going split series back to Cleveland, the crowd's going to be frenzied. But maybe a little storm weather in one of these games. But nonetheless, I would be surprised if we go back to Boston 2-2 after the fourth game here.
I agree there. In hockey last night, I want to say, I'm going to use the word shocker. I told everyone I expected the Canes to win that game, and Igor Shesterkin, yes, he is who we thought he was. Rangers 3-2 overtime win. Igor has stopped 99 shots the last 2 games, so Carolina now down 0-3. I still think they win game 4. I got a sneaky suspicion they'll be favored in Game 5 at the Mecca. I think they get that done, and they at least get it to 6 there. So I'm not moving off of that one. And then in the late night game, we gave out the Stars team total over 3.5. Didn't mess with the under/over. Circa would not get off of 6. Everyone else had 6.5. Stars score 4 in the first 2 periods. We cashed that one. Quietly, the ECSI VIPs are 23-8-1 their last 32 games. But then here comes Edmonton. Hold my beer. Excuse me. Brain fart here. God. You can tell it's Friday here. Huh? Stars blew the 3-0 lead in Game 1 to lose 4-3. Well, now they had a 4-0 lead, and then bing, bang, boom, it was 4-3 against the Avs, excuse me. And then, of course, the empty net 5-3. So, oh, my God, it's Friday. I apologize, guys. But they hold on for a 5-3 win there. 2 games tonight right here behind me, the Garden. Right now, the Panthers minus 125-ish. Bruins plus 105. I expect a very chippy, tight game.
Yeah.
Personally, surprised the Florida's minus 125 and 130. I think that's a respect number. So I expect the Panthers to get one of the next 2, if not both of these at the Garden. And then the stench is the Oilers down 0-1 in Vancouver, 4-1 lead late in the second. Vancouver scores right before the end of the second period, and then they score 3 goals in a blink of an eye to win 5-4. Edmonton only minus 125, 130, and kind of sort of a must win, people would think. Under over a flat 6. So the eyes tell me, well, Jesus, if Edmonton's going to do anything, they're going to get to 4. If you like Edmonton tonight, you can take their team total over 3.5. They got to get to 4 or better. It doesn't matter who wins. You can get that at plus 115. I know a lot of people on the over 6. I think Edmonton gets it done, but I saw something in Vancouver that just shocked the shit out of me. So I stayed away from that. The ECSI VIPs know there. So, Riley, I'm going to give you the basketball board. New York banged up. One guy out. We know that. Brunson questionable. I'm seeing 7s with the 222.5, and then Denver, Minnesota, obviously must win for the defending champs.
Yep. OG Anunoby out. We mentioned that at the end of the show. Found that out yesterday. So that definitely hurts them. I mean, they've been just a better team since he's come over to New York. But yeah, Brunson, I still see game time decision. I mean, him coming back in that game the other day, I would be surprised if he sits this one out. So yeah, they are banged up, and I think the 7, and I see 7.5 maybe potentially in a couple spots now is interesting, and I'm kind of uninterested in that spread there, kind of staying away. I could see this one going a lot of different ways. I was interested in the total only going up a few points after we get 217 and it goes to 238. 218.5 in game 2 when we go to 151, and now we're sitting here on Friday and I'm still seeing the public go to the over, and it's only a few points higher than that at 222.5. So I just based off of that, thinking this one could be a little bit lower scoring tonight, my friend. Would have respected I mean, we've seen some bigger jumps in this postseason too, not to mention a 3-4 point jump, whatever that is. I mean, I think one of the first round series we talked about a similar situation to this, and a full 10-point boost in one of these totals in one of those first-round series. So you obviously got a team in Indiana that scored a lot of points in the regular season, but I would have expected a much bigger jump if we were talking about that total there. So I'm gonna be interested in some under action in this Pacers and Knicks game. I'll say the Pacers get the win, but I really don't have much of a feel for the spread with how banged up the Knicks are tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a Pacer team that is kind of pissed off because at worst they should have been 1-1. Some think that they actually should have been 2-0 in this series. The refs. I hate the R word. I just try to stay away from that drama. It's like talking politics. I don't talk politics, so I hate to bring up the refs. A Pacers Friday night at home. The place is going to be electric. Indiana, they got some shit going on. I mean, whether it's the Pacers, whether it's Richardson and the Colts, or whether it's Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's a pretty happening spot, and I think the place is going to be rocking. I think the Pacers get it done. I think they flex their muscles. The only question is how much pushback do they get from the Knicks side? So again, I'm going to stay away. I would lean Pacers, maybe a team total over, maybe first half. Maybe first half's the way to go. But I talked about it with Andrew. Is if Brunson tries to play through pain and they limps through the first half and they're getting blown out, they might just pull the cord with him and Hart, and it could be garbage time by the third/fourth quarter.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I mean, we've seen teams these last few years. I don't know that this Knicks team has that type of makeup with Tibbs as their coach, as far as kind of pushing their chips into what would be game 4, kind of almost just giving it, not giving up, but essentially just, acknowledging that you're banged up and you don't want to be, you're shorthanded anyway, so just push your chips into game 4 here. I don't think the Knicks really have that type of makeup, but you could absolutely see that. And this thing could get out of hand, like you're talking about there, and they sit some guys here, or they go balls to the wall and they play through pain and bang themselves up even more and mess around and win this thing. So I almost am at a spot where it's the Knicks win outright or they lose by 20 plus is kind of where I'm at here with this one. So I'm kind of with you as far as I'm not really all that interested in the Knicks tonight. Wouldn't shock me if they played through the banged up nature that they are here and flirted with this one here. But I'll definitely lean towards the Pacers as well. If you force me to take a spread, I guess I'll throw it at the Pacers. But I'm probably not going to be doing that tonight. But that total overall game total spot had me interested a little bit there for this one.
No, I agree. It's again, this Knicks team is. Listen, go back to the Sixers series where again, you thought the Sixers were going to come home and take care of business. The Knicks just didn't give up. They don't throw away games. And it's a great point by your part, Tibbs. Listen, I know Tibbs from the Celtics days, and Tibbs does not give up anything, and they go to play and win every game. Again, I don't know the severity. I'm not playing doctor on these guys. We are now starting to get into game 90 plus with these guys already. So listen, if the Knicks could write a script and say, hey, we'd like to get out of Indiana, get out of Pacerville with a split and come back home 3-1, well, maybe they'd try to figure that one out.
Yep, 100%. I think that's what we're going to see here. So other one, Denver and Minnesota. Obviously, we've got a red-hot Minnesota team beat the brakes off of the Phoenix Suns and now have looked great in 2 games here against Denver. But you've got a defending championship team with the MVP of the league. Obviously not very pleased with their performance. Have not hit triple digits in either of these games, 99-106 and 80-106. It wouldn't shock me if we've talked about this Wolves team, don't need to say it again, are dying for some respect here. So I think you should see the Nuggets come out and flex their muscles and get get this thing closer to an even series here. But wouldn't shock me if the Wolves came out and had a great game again here. So I'll lean towards the Nuggets taking care of business and getting a win here, but by no means am I diving into the deep end saying I'm guaranteeing anything by any stretch of the measure here tonight.
The NBA's worst thought process here is Minnesota winning tonight and sweeping this series here, and then with the potential Minnesota OKC, which again for the youth movement everyone would love to see, but there's no. For the average person, there's no Kyrie, there's no Luka, there's no LeBron, there's no Joker. So for the average person not following the NBA, Ant who, and S.A. who, Y-E, So again, must defending champs, give me Denver first half, give me them probably catching about 1.5, 2. Give me them on the money line first half. I expect to see, as much as Ant and company are going to feed off of that crowd, Denver, you got to survive the first quarter and win the second quarter. Take this to halftime like, hey, we're the defending champs. You guys, your time is coming. It's not tonight. That's the attitude that they need.
100%, and it's a great point. And you're right. It's that catch of these markets and the youth movement for the casual fans isn't going to catch on, but hopefully this is these series and I think a long series here in both of these series, Minnesota and OKC. From what the NBA needs to generate more buzz around these guys and these teams is kind of what they need, as opposed to a quick, 5-game series against Denver here. I hopefully that's not what drives this to a long series, but we could be seeing a long series just because that would obviously generate a lot of a lot more interest in these teams here. So I'm with you. I'll go with the Nuggets tonight, but and anything, nothing would surprise me in this game here tonight.
Same here. Same here.
Alrighty. So I don't know if you got anything MLB. The one thing, the 10-28 White Sox, I told you yesterday, I was sniffing out a stinky line there for the White Sox, got the win. The 10-28 White Sox are favored at home against the 24-13 Cleveland Guardians tonight, for what it's worth there. Garrett Crochet, on paper, numbers don't look good, but has had some really good starts. The last two has looked pretty good there. So again, I don't love the value of a 10-28 team not being plus money, but they are minus 164. This kind of paints a picture of how bad the market is reflecting of their bullpen here. Minus 165 on the first 5 for the White Sox, minus 118 on the full game. That's a pretty big difference that you typically don't see. So still not interested in laying the hook with the 10-28 team without plus money here, but they're kind of telling you that Garrett Crochet is going to be great here. At least these first 5 innings, right, in this White Sox game.
Well, and the fact that unfortunately Carrasco is just not even a shell of himself, and it almost reminds me of what do you guys bringing back? Frank Thomas and a few others. I mean, like, holy shit! And listen, I was the guy watching Crochet when he was first coming up, meaning his first couple starts. I watched that game. I think it was against Atlanta. It was like 38 degrees, and he just mowed him right down, and So Vegas is tipping their hand here again. I'm sorry, if you Venmo'd me 100, I'd Venmo you 200 back and say take the bride out. Good eyes there. I was looking at the board. A couple things kind of caught my eye. Listen, this Atlanta team can't hit water if they were in a boat right now. But again, another pitcher that you're familiar with, Mr. Quintana, pitching there. Again, this is set up perfectly, maybe even for a leadoff homer by Acuna there. I think that you can get the Braves team total up and over the 4.5 there. I was looking there. St. Louis, Milwaukee, again, Lance Lynn is shell of himself. So we talked about Milwaukee last night. Don't know much about Gasser there. I did. Glasnow got banged up pretty good his last start. They got the late game at 9:40 against the Padres and King. Keep an eye. King is allowing 2.6 homers per game there. So you might want to keep an eye on Ohtani and Freeman, maybe even a little Max Muncy tonight from the left side there for the Dodgers. Schmidt and Yankees at Tampa. Taj Bradley first start off the IL. I'm a big Bradley fan. Wouldn't expect him to go that long. The Yankees, pretty good success in Tampa, so keep an eye on Mr. Schmidt there and the Yankees. And let me just scroll. We talked about Chicago. This is a Mr. Lucky special. Kansas City and Angels. Casey blows them out yesterday. We talked about Walker and how bad he's been, and he looked like, Cy Young yesterday. The Angels have struggled with Kannon on the mound, and he was minus 110 overnight. Now Kansas City, the favorite, minus 117. That old flip-flop, and just keep an eye on the Angels tonight. And if you like them, take them in the first 5. And last but not least, listen, the gift that keeps giving, another team, a Red Sox team that has been bad offensively the last handful of games. It's Patrick Corbin Day. Listen, it's been gray and dreary for most of the day on Cape Cod. I had an under over a 9 down to 8.5. Houck's on the mound. Sox minus 200. The Sox to get to 5. Actually, let me just take a look here, so I'm not saying something that's not there. Give me 1 second, right? Red Sox team total over 4.5 minus 20 cents. Again, it smells. Okay, they're supposed to get to 5 today. Spend the 20 cents and find out.
I'm with you, and I don't have too much to add tonight. That Detroit and Houston game, the pitching matchup in that one is interesting to me. You got a lot of respect to Valdez with the way the Astros are struggling at a Detroit team that's kind of back just treading water at this point. So interesting spot there. But aside from that, nothing else that I've got to drop down, my friend. I know we can keep this one short and sweet. Maybe a new record for the two of us here. But other than that, no, I'm excited for this action tonight. These NBA games are going to be fantastic. Not only tonight but this weekend, and golf tournament rolling along. Mr. Xander still flying high, and a 4-shot lead there. So interested to see how things roll out over the weekend. If things get interesting, maybe I'll pop on the old X app and give some thoughts on Saturday, Sunday golf for this weekend here at the Wells Fargo, right?
Wells Fargo. And next week, we got the second major, the PGA. Speaking of Xander, he got it like a gift of all gifts on an errant drive on 18 yesterday. He was able to move it somewhere where it probably would have. He would have got a snowman, and somehow they were able to move it and move it again, and blah 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 blah. So, anyways, second major next week. We'll be here Wednesday at 5:00 with Brady, Kannon. Me and Riley will be talking throughout the week, of course. NHL, NBA playoffs. Bruins tonight, Celtics tomorrow, Bruins on Sunday. Red Sox look to get out of their funk when they host the Nationals. Other than that, it's been a great week. I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank Riley. I want to thank all our guests. It's been fun. It really has. And a couple weeks will be already to Memorial Day. And next thing you know, it's June 1st, Riley. And then before you know it, we're at the All-Star break. And then we're talking football again.
I'll be ready for football. I'm always ready for that.
From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson1. We wished everyone a blessed day and evening. Enjoy yourselves. Don't be the pizza man. All right, get home, pay those bills, then have some fun. So we'll see you next week.